Law enforcement, they're meant to serve and protect, right? Well, one family in Georgia says they needed protection from the officers that came to their door just last month. Deputies from Dekalb County, Georgia, that's in the Atlanta area, had a warrant for this mother. 8 of them showed up at this front door at 1:30 in the morning last month, pounding on the door. Family says they tried to figure out why the deputies were there in the first place. They even picked up the phone and called 911. Got no specifics. So for more than 40 minutes, the mom decides to open the door, but is terrified as far as what would happen next. And what was her warrant for? Not murder, not drugs, but an overdue court fee, $1,000. Watch.
Lord, please. Lord, please.
I rebuke Satan back to the depths of hell from whence he came. I rebuke Satan back to the depths of hell from whence he came. I haven't done anything. I haven't done anything.
Mommy.
I'm a Christian woman. I haven't done anything.
What are you doing? What are you doing? We're coming out. No, stop. We're not doing anything. Stop. We're not doing anything. 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 We're not doing anything.
The Dekalb County Sheriff's Office is investigating the 8 deputies. A spokesman tells CNN this, quote, the warrant for what was for the correct address. The video is misleading. No excessive force was used, but the cursing is against protocol. When deputies arrived, the lights went off and people were peeking through the windows, and it took 45 minutes for those inside to open the door. So joining me now next to me to Tanya Griffin, who was arrested July 26th. This was that day. You've paid that $1,000 fee since.
I did.
Also with her son, Donovan Hall, who shot some of the video. We hear some of your voice there. And Tanya Miller, who's joining us as well, attorney here, to walk us through sort of legally what's okay. So welcome to all of you.
Thank you.
Let me just begin with a question that I know it's the easy question. I'm just going to ask this. In the very beginning, when you hear knocks on your door and you know it's police, I'm thinking, if I have nothing to hide, you open the door. Why didn't you?
You want to speak first?
Either
I'll speak first because I was the first person to notice that, you know, the banging that was on the door. And it wasn't a knocking, you know what I mean? It's a difference between a police officer coming and knocking on your door and someone outside your door banging the door down, screaming, cursing, open the effing door. You know what I mean? Like, in the beginning, once I heard these sounds, it immediately confused me as to what was going on. You know, so I, responded, why are you here? Please tell us what's going on. They would never respond with an answer.
Never explained why they were there. Tanya.
Yes, so officers who have an arrest warrant, they can come to your house and seek to execute that arrest warrant, right? The question becomes, at what point do they exceed the force necessary to do that? Now, I would advise people that when the police knock at your door and you've been told that the police are there lawfully, you should open the door. The question is not whether or not they did what they were supposed to do. The question is, did they go further than what they needed to do in order to execute this warrant? We hear them cursing. We hear them threatening to tase people who are already handcuffed. They make entry into the house and question these young men for a significant period of time after they've already executed the arrest warrant.
We hear your voice, sort of comparing it to that of the deputies, very calm.
Right.
What's going on? At one point, I've watched this whole video. You're doing the Lord's Prayer. You're praying. You're crossing yourself. You said you thought you could die.
I absolutely did.
Why?
I felt like this because we had a previous experience with the police in which they came to my home 3 days after I purchased it, profiled me, telling me they thought I was a sovereign citizen because I looked too young to own a house of that caliber, and we called them back 2 months later for an incident that occurred, and they busted in my house without a warrant, body slammed me to the floor, 4 officers, 2 of them broke my thumbs while 1 held a gun to my head. I have no trust. For the past 2 years, I've been requesting an investigation for internal affairs. I've been going back and forth with the police department in Dekalb County. They've done nothing but attempt to cover it up.
So you're frustrated. This is a separate incident. CNN hasn't confirmed that. This is just according to you. Let me end this by saying quickly, what are you doing with this tape? Are you doing anything legally with this?
Absolutely. We want the United States Attorney, Eric Holder, to come in and put a specter of light and look into this, because we can't trust Dekalb County to police themselves. Just based on their conduct, it lets you know that they lack professional conduct and professional ethics. They're not following the standards and procedures set forth for the police. We cannot trust them to police themselves. If they feel like they're justified in their actions, let the federal government come in and look. Let the Department of Justice come in and investigate what was done.
10 seconds. Do they have a case?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's too soon to really tell.
Okay.
It looks really bad on this tape. The question is whether or not they were excessive. They certainly looked like bullies. And, you know, in the court of public opinion, it really looks bad.
Tanya, Donovan, quickly, Team Tanya.
Let's make no mistake. They say, you know, you can only hear cursing, but it was a lot of excessive force. Officers stood on top of my head. One officer had his knee on my back. 2 officers are bending my arms backwards. And then a shorter officer stands on top of my head with both feet. You know, that is extremely excessive once I'm already
And they weren't
handcuffed.
looking for you, though, again, DeKalb County Sheriff says it was not excessive force when they came in the house, just their side. They're investigating. Guys, thank you very much. We'll see where this goes. Stay in touch with us.
Thank you.
And now.